And I just really wanted us to both be on here for this full conversation, because I know that so much is coming through for you right now, Rachel. So much is coming through for me, and what we're going to bring together in this co-creative conversation is just going to be next level. Okay, so I'm so excited to get into this. For anyone in your audience who doesn't know me, I'm just going to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Frankie Milligan. I'm an intuitive mentor, and I support you to do your best work and thrive in all areas of life. So thrive in your relationships, thrive in your lifestyle from the inside out. Okay, I have a background in marketing and business. I was over 20 years in performance marketing and corporate. I retrained as a theta healer, and now I sync both. I sync powerful strategies with the deep healing, the energetic, and the inner work to create change and transformation in business in all areas of life through that place of deep alignment. And I'm so excited to get into this conversation today, and it's a conversation that you and I have been having for a while, Rachel, all the time actually, in terms of creating more growth, creating higher and bigger results for the woman who she knows that she's made for more, but from that place of deep alignment, creating change from the inside out, both having spent so many years doing it the other way, creating from external, attaching validation, attaching our identity, attaching success to things that are going on in our external world, and actually both having big wake-up calls in very different ways that has been that invitation to go within and relearning and reconditioning how to move forward in a different way, how to move forward from deep alignment, and in doing so, doing it in a more authentic, aligned and joyful way.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to come in and share this conversation with you. I know that everyone tuning in is going to get so much from like the transmission that they'll get from this conversation, and also the individual learnings that they're going to receive from you as well, Rachel. So yeah, thank you.
It always makes me smile when you talk about your background being in marketing for 20 years, Frankie, because I'm just like, how? Like, you do not look like you've had that depth of life. So you've got so much life wisdom, so much life experience and life wisdom, and business experience and wisdom. And I love when you talk about your background within marketing, because I think certainly for me, what I feel has made you unique in my experience, it is that combination of the energetics, the spirituality, but also the business and marketing. So yeah, just wanted to share that. And if anyone is online, can you just let us know in terms of sound that you can hear us all okay? And hello to everyone that has joined us live. Hopefully the sound's all good. Can you hear me okay, Frankie?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So clear, so clear. Thank
Perfect. Yeah, so for those of you that are watching from Frankie's feed, if you don't know me, as Frankie said, my name's Rachel. I would describe myself as an empowerment and transformation coach, and I do it through various different pillars. Actually, what led me on this path of becoming a coach and really deciding to look at ways that I could instill deeper change and transformation in others was my journey through working with Frankie. So what I'll do quickly is I'll just maybe take everyone a bit into the background of over the last sort of 12 to 15 months, and why I decided, alongside my existing wellness business, my network marketing business, why I decided to offer this other pillar and this other strand of who I am. I feel like this has been a journey of, there was a desire and craving for a long time, but it was stuck within me through fear, and also through, probably a huge thing was fear. It was massive fear. So yeah, I'd like to take everyone back. Some of you have watched my journey over the last 11 years. So my journey in entrepreneurship started 11 years ago. It was through the business and strand of my brand that I still have today. It's a wellness business with a company called Arbonne, something I'm still extremely passionate about. But I started my journey and I was not the poster child to be successful in business. I come from a small town. I had no background in business, and all I knew at the age of 22 is there was this deep desire for more. I looked at my mum, who is a nurse and was a single parent, and whilst my work ethic has been instilled from her example as a woman, I looked at her lifestyle and her on that hamster wheel, that hamster wheel of working to live, really having not enough left for herself, for her own self-care, and also really struggling to meet the demands of being a woman, being a mother, and having this, career. And I looked at her and I've got so much deep respect for my mum. She's instilled the work ethic that I have today, but I'm like, I don't want that. She was a woman that there wasn't much left for her when it came to her life, because she devoted her life to this career and built her way to the top of this, structure within the NHS, and just really burnt out, overworked, underpaid. So I knew that the pathway of 9 to 5 would never give me the lifestyle choices that I wanted, but I didn't know really what else to do. So anyway, my journey into entrepreneurship started, became really successful in that industry quite quickly. And I would say in my 20s, I was #living the dream. I'd built a business that had afforded me a really nice lifestyle. I had a lot of flexibility. It enabled me to work remotely from anywhere around my family life. And I was living the dream, and genuinely, I thought that would, I was on this huge trajectory of growth, and then things changed for me. I would say where the first radical point of change happened for me was in 2019. I went through a huge life change, and I think up until that point, the universe had been giving me nudges to really wake me up, to realise that the path that I was on in terms of who I was as a woman, and also the relationship that I was in at the time, it wasn't the place that I was meant to be. And without going into massive detail, it just got to a point where that relationship had become extremely unhealthy for me, the environment at home for my children. And that was the first radical point of change, because I also had to take radical responsibility for the part that I was playing in that relationship becoming unhealthy. And you know what? It's taken a huge amount of growth over these last few years to be able to say that, because coming out of that relationship, I definitely was in a place of blame. And I think regardless of what's happened in any situation, whether it's a business partnership, whether it's a romantic relationship, there's always two people that play a part. And I think personal power, and you taught me this, Frankie, and radical responsibility is taking ownership for the part that we play in every single situation in our life. Whether you're experiencing real upper limits in business relationships or client relationships or romantic relationships, if you're hitting upper limits, you're playing a part in this story playing out. And I quickly learned, choosing to embody personal power is deciding not to be a victim, even in a situation where you are the victim. And anyway, that was the first radical point of change. And I think going through that, and I'll keep the long version of the story short, that for me was the first point in my life where I really started to question all these, I call them paradigms, right? And just to simplify, it's just belief systems that I'd built up until that point. I attach my self-worth to things outside of me: the business success, the relationship, the identity that I'd created in that, the house, the cars, the Gucci bags. And it wasn't until those things were taken away, and in terms of the relationship, the house that I was living in, we went into lockdown, that I started to question what was happiness and what was my self-worth outside of these things. So this has very much been a 4 or 5 year journey of starting to question kind of the system that I was in. And basically, in the year 2020, I had huge exponential growth again in my business. But then in 2021 was the first time in 7 years that I experienced a dip. And I thought I had rock solid certainty and belief and you talk about this in business, like being a high level leader and an entrepreneur, you have to have that deep sense of certainty where regardless of what happens in revenue results, external results, you can hold your power and your certainty from within. And I wasn't. I thought I was, but I realised that so much of my confidence and all these other things was tied to the external results. And I went on a journey for probably 2021, 2022, and up until the halfway point of 2023, where my belief in myself was really shattered. I would say in 2021, I was kind of in this phase of, oh, it'll come back up, it'll be fine. 2022 was where I was like, oh shit, like I'm panicking, it's dipping again. And in 2023, I actually went on an amazing leadership retreat with my company, which was incredible. And I came home thinking, I've got this. And then I just couldn't take action. I was stuck in this cycle of self-doubt, of fear. I really struggled to know what my voice was anymore. The way that I used to, I suppose, share my business, my brand, my offerings, I didn't want to do it in that way. I didn't want to attract people to the way that I was doing business from my lifestyle, from my accolades, my things. And I'll always be a goal-driven person. That will, like I am, I want to strive to achieve new levels of growth and expansion. But what I didn't want to do was to attract people to what I was doing from the ways that I used to, if that makes sense. I knew that the alignment had to be deeper and my offerings in terms of what I could create had to be deeper. And again, to cut a long story short, it felt like a really dark place. In 2023, I was questioned, do I want to be an entrepreneur anymore? Can I do this? Like, I was genuinely having these cycles of, I wish I could just be a stay-at-home mum. I was looking at people that weren't having to work, but then also this deep desire to know that I was made for more. I knew that I was. I knew there was untapped potential in me. But the stories of the past and those experiences were playing an auto loop. And I don't know if Jill's still on here, but I actually had a call with another mentor of mine. I'm in their training association just now, and I remember breaking down because I was just so lost. So June 2023, this is where you came into my life. And I do believe it was a divine, it was meant to be. And I would say for me, this is where my journey continued to begin and doing the deeper inner work. And what I will say between last June and now, like just the growth that I have had in terms of myself as a woman, trusting myself, the transformation that I have been able to go through personally, but also the growth that I'm now experiencing in my relationships with people who I was hitting upper limits with, in my business. And yeah, just it's incredible how much can change in 12 months. Like when we talk about quantum leaping, I have quantum leaps.
Wow, absolute goosebumps. And it does feel like we have just known each other forever, and in the most beautiful way. It doesn't feel like it's been 12 months, and it definitely feels like that meeting with us, like the universe like brought us together, because there's been so much goodness and how we have supported each other's journey and worked in different ways, and also just the way that our relationship and friendship has grown, and how we can bring that to others as well. So beautiful. You said so many nuggets in there that I know will be activating people in different ways, but I want to pull out a couple of them. You talked about that having that deep innate knowing that you were made for more from a very young age. And a lot of women, I know a lot of women watching this, a lot of women feel this way, even when it's not modelled, even when they don't see anyone in their life where they have that feeling like, I want that life, I want that, when it's not our family, it's not our friends, it's not our community. We're not seeing people in our day-to-day who have the type of life or who have the type of business and success that we know internally that we're striving for. And this is our intuition. when we know that we are desiring that and we know that we want to create something bigger, often it's because we're the ones who are going first. We're the ones who are creating the highest level of success ever in our family line. We're the ones who are breaking cycles that have perhaps lasted generation after generation. We're the ones who are creating a change. We're the ones who are creating a change for that next generation to come, for our children, for our grandchildren, and all the ones that come after that. So I love that you shared that, Rachel, because I know a lot of women feel that way and they don't know what to do with it. Okay, so through this conversation and through the work that we do, we help women know what to do with that and how to bring that feeling and that knowing that they have all this untapped potential. They want to live in a different way. They want to create success and do things that they dream of and have the relationship and have the freedom within their family. And it comes through that truth. When we feel this way, when we desire something in this way, then it's an absolute truth. So I absolutely love that you shared that. I would love to just ask you to go into, where are you now in life? You've been in this huge journey. We know where you've come from. Like, what's the picture of your life now? How does it look?
So different. Different but not, if that makes sense. Like, still the same person. Circumstantially, things haven't changed really in the last year in terms of where I live. And but like you speak about, like, embodying ease. One of the master classes that I attended with you and through the work that I've done with you, you talk about this ease and flow. And there was a part of my brain when I first met you that I know I deeply wanted change in the way that I was doing life and business. So I was in these continual struggle cycles. I was living in these stories and these limiting beliefs from my past that were really playing in my present and stopping me from powerfully stepping into my future. I knew that I wanted more. I knew that I wanted the abundance that I'd once had through my business. So the business had taken a dip over from 2021, as I'd mentioned, to 2023. We were in a down cycle, and I was in a place of fear because as the revenue was decreasing, obviously my lifestyle had been built around this business that I had built. I've got 2 young children that are mine, my responsibility, and I was in a place of fear around money, around worthiness, around confidence, around who was I? Like, who am I now? Like, the Rachel had previously built the business, like, I wasn't who I was, and the more I tried to do life and business in the way that I once did, the more I resisted it. I didn't want to believe in that paradigm or that belief that it was like, in order to succeed, you have to sacrifice and it must be painful. Now, I created all of the success that I created for the first 7 years from that place of pain, the place of staying where I was. But actually, I was in a really beautiful place in my life where last year and now I'm in a really happy, safe relationship. I've got a beautiful home, I'm healthy. So how could I create from a place of more desire instead of pain? So how does life look different? You know, after really going on this journey, we call it the inner work. And what is the inner work? Like, I have done years and years of professional development, investing in coaching programs. And what I will say is, working with you, Frankie, and Self Source, doing our one-to-one coaching was my first experience of deeper levels of personal growth, not the surface level stuff where I didn't need more strategy and do more. I know how to take action, right? There was something stopping me from really taking action with a different level of certainty and energy. And where things have different, fast forward, if we were to look 12 months ago, so we're now in August 2025, I have launched other pillars of my business, but my existing network marketing business from January this year has grown 5x in terms of our overall numbers and revenue. But not just that, I feel in a place of certainty, deep self-trust when it comes to the way that I am showing up and building my business in a way that feels truly aligned to me. I trust myself. I don't need motivation or inspiration from any other person because I can self-motivate and I can trust myself to take the aligned action. And I feel I'm in this beautiful place in business where I'm sitting in the middle of masculine action and strategy of moving the needle, taking the aligned action because we need that. We can't just sit and manifest. But also in that beautiful space of the left space, which is the feminine, the ease and the flow, the self-care, the practices that I know I need in order to take the aligned masculine energy. So that's business. Alongside that, I am almost finished, over halfway through becoming a fully accredited intuitive psychology coach. So I started this journey in May this year, and that definitely came through my experience with you. I realised for me I wanted to help women create that radical change and transformation in their lives through doing the deeper inner work. And I wanted to learn the tools and techniques to create those shifts in other women's lives because I saw that rapid transformation through me, through working with you. So that's business. In terms of relationships, I feel like I'm thriving in the relationships that mean the most to me. And I know you've been through, like, you've seen me at my worst when I was really struggling around just some upper limits that I was experiencing, not only in my own personal relationship, but also with relationships with the people that I work with. I am in a business that involves working with people, and I was struggling I was just struggling. Loads of triggers and things were coming up, and again, struggling to trust myself in those situations. And what I will say is just the way I am as a mother, as a daughter with my mum, I've healed so many things with my own mum. Like, it's actually insane the growth that me and my mum have had, and it's too lengthy to go through on this live. But yeah, just the depth that we now have, the connection that we now have, and the things that we've pushed through, and I just feel in a real place of calmness and certainty. I know who I am, I know what I stand for, and my vision is back. I'd lost my vision for a while, my self-belief was shattered, and I'm just like, I know who I am, I know what I'm capable of, and I know how to take action from a real place of alignment. So that is where I am.
Whoa, 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 whoa. All of this in a year. I cannot wait to see how many years you squeeze into the next 12 months. It's going to be an absolute ride. You dived into a few things there, Rachel, and the thing that I really want to pull out is the upper limits. So we all hit upper limits in our life along the journey and in all areas of our life. So it doesn't matter whether we feel in a place of struggle and survival and loss, or whether we're actually really grateful and content and thriving in our life. We'll still hit upper limits on this journey of growth and evolution, and it shows up in different ways. So I just want to talk into the tangible ways that we as women continuously hit upper limits when we have certain programs of struggle running. Okay, so upper limits around people pleasing, upper limits of needing to be seen as nice rather than honest and truthful. We need to be nice because we have this deep good girl conditioning that we've learned from a very young age. Upper limits of burnout, always having to be busy, always having to hustle, and as you say, Rachel, create through that place of pain. This is definitely one that I've worked through again and again and again to clear out, like that burnout. One that we hold is the guilt. This is deep rooted for women. We feel guilty. We feel guilty if we put ourselves first. Mum guilt runs so deep. We feel guilty for saying no, which makes us and drives us into behaviours where we are, again, people pleasing, doing things that we don't want to do, doing things that are out of alignment, and it creates all sorts of upper limits in our relationships when we start to get triggered or resentful, or we lose our voice, or we lose our way, and when we don't have that deep connection with ourselves and that certainty that we talk about, it's very easy to take on other people's truth and other people's agenda. and we kind of lose our own way in that, and then that's when we start to feel that we're getting pushed in this direction or we're going in this direction, and we just start to feel out of alignment. And I know that this is something that I've experienced in the journey, and you've just so beautifully shared your experience of that as well. So when we're talking about upper limits, and if you're experiencing any of these things in your life, then just know that when we do that inner work, that starts to kind of release a lot of this, which releases the behaviour and how you experience yourself in your life. And that's what creates the incredible change, just as Rachel's experienced. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I feel like I've lived 100 years in the last year. So it's like, how do I encapsulate this in the short form?
Yeah, oh, I hear you. And that's what it gets to be like, not just when we start, Rachel, it gets to be like that along the journey. I mean, I look back at July and I'm like, July? Like August already? But because it feels like there's been so much growth in that. And what I always like to share is I literally started meditating 4 years ago. I retrained as a healer 3.5 years ago. And the amount of growth in that, it literally feels like hundreds and hundreds of years. And like yourself, after experiencing that deep transformation within me, within like literally a couple of months, life looked completely different. It became a choiceless path. I couldn't know it, pass this on to other women. And it was initially the healing and the inner work. And as my journey's evolved, I've brought in my old experience in marketing and business and synced both. So yeah, very, very powerful. You talked a bit about how you feel now, and I think this is really important because we talk a lot about results and we talk a lot about like the changes in life. Yeah. And what we know is this starts with our experience of ourselves changing. The changes happen within us now. So can we talk a bit about how this actually feels and how this experiences? Because I know that one of the things that we value most now, it's not how it looks. I used to care about how it looks. Yeah. I don't care how it looks. Like literally zero FUCKs, how it looks. I care about how it feels, and I care about authenticity. So I would love for you to talk about the experience as a woman, how it feels.
Yeah. So for me, I'd obviously shared like a few different tangible results that I've created. But for me, the growth has been in the embodiment of how it feels, how different I feel today versus 12 months ago. Obviously there has been tangible results, and I know that when I first came to you, Frankie, our first ever session that we did in August 2024, the thing that I wanted to create was stepping into doing like building my brand and having other offerings. One was to do immersive retreats and events. So I was able to hold for 70 women in May this year an immersive mind and wellness retreat. And last year, honestly, like you'll know the fear of what will people think of me stepping out and doing something out with the existing identity that I've created, this fear of imposter syndrome, can I? So that is a tangible thing, and I truly believe I would never have had the courage to really do that and hold that also space for 70 people and facilitate that event had it not been doing this inner work. So how does it feel? It feels so different. There's this real calm certainty that I now have, this solid, deep self-trust that I have within myself, within my own voice. I know now that the only way is my way. I think often, and you'll relate to this if you have your own business, anyone that's watching, please let us know if you've ever experienced this, where you listen to the podcasts, the mentors, the experts, the coaches, and everybody has their own definition of success and how they do it. And I kept hearing people say things that I just couldn't align with anymore. And the more I tried to lean into that way of doing, the more I would just like not take any action at all. And what that did, it started to create this narrative of, oh, you don't trust yourself. Oh, you're not somebody that follows through with your own word. Oh, well, there you go again. Another week's passed. You've done nothing to move the needle forward in your business. You've not done the income producing activities. Oh, you're a failure. This doesn't work for you anymore. Do. And that narrative kept playing on auto loop and all these fears. And one thing that came up for me, and I want to share this, was there was this huge narrative around I really wanted to embody in this, and this makes me feel so emotional because it's so something that is so important to me, embodying this archetype of being the devoted mother. And anyone that's a woman, we talk about the guilt that we can have as women when we know we are made for more, but we still want to have that family freedom and that presence. And I had this story of, right, success is sacrifice. So to thrive in my business, it means sacrificing my family life, my time with my children, my partner, and those that I love. And I was stuck in that place because that was the narrative that was playing out in my subconscious. And I now know that I can be the real devoted, loving, present mother. Family freedom is a core value that we both hold and that I embody. That when I am with my children, I am present and I carve out intentional time to work my business. So I can be the devoted mother, but also the badass businesswoman. And I love that I get to play both those roles now, and I fully feel in my power with that. Whereas last year I was struggling with that. And then in terms of just to share a relationship example, I was really struggling. I've lived in my masculine, I've realised my entire life. From a child, I taught myself to be hyper independent, and the stories of my past and also my life taught me that to lean back and allow others to support me, that was unsafe. And through the work that I have done, both through the intuitive psychology diploma that I'm doing and also the work that we've done, I am in a place where I'm able to dance between those two energies of being in my feminine, allowing myself to feel safe and supported, not only in my relationship with my partner, but also with women. We all have these deep-rooted feminine wounds where, you know, you've got a friend, whether it's a business friend or a friendship friend. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm good. We don't tell them that actually, I'm really struggling right now and I need to be supported, I need to be seen. And I know that through our relationship, we both taught each other the power of vulnerability with sisterhood. And it's just like this weight of the world that was on me has lifted. So how does it feel? It feels like, yeah, I'm just in alignment in my relationships with females. I have the deepest, like the deep connection that I have built with women. Like, people will be surprised about this, right? But prior to 2020, I had a lot of female relationships. You'll see me on social media being in a lot of pictures with females. I never had a lot of close female friends. And I think when it comes to sisterhood, it's women that are there to hold you at your highest, at your best, but also there to hold you when you're at your worst. And I never had that. All of my problems and my worries and fears were kept within the container of me. And that felt really heavy to hold. And now I have got the deepest connections with women when it comes to my friendships, both in business and people who are not in business. And I love that. So yeah, just what a rapid transformation. And I just feel, we talk about alignment, it's a word that's bandied about, but in deep alignment with myself. And I get to choose how I do life and business.
Yes, you do. You do. There's so much that would have landed there. The first one is that subconscious belief that I've also worked through myself, that we need to trade something for something else. We trade time for money, we trade success for time with our family, and it's that unconscious trade. You see this all the time, mostly in women who are very successful, but they have unconscious programs running that they can't have love. So whilst they're very successful, like, relationships don't come easy to them. We see this in like mother entrepreneurship, being a mum and being an entrepreneur, where there's this real struggle to find that balance. But when we actually go and do the inner work and change our beliefs that we can have time freedom, we can have success in a way that feels aligned with us, not in what the coaches say or what the experts say or what the industry says, that deep aligned success and the love and the purpose and the impact, like what we both know to be true is, I don't believe in that you get to have everything. Who wants everything? Who wants it all? What I know to be true is we get to have everything that matters and everything that is important at a soul level, and that is alignment. When we do the inner work to align an internal environment to that aligned vision for our life, that is when change and transformation starts to occur from the inside out, and that's when we start to feel that deep alignment within ourselves, and that's reflected back in our relationships that you shared, Rachel. And yeah, just being that person who can be completely authentic and truthful. I masked for years, like, I'm fine, yeah, I'm good. How exhausting is it when you're in that place where you truly have that deep connection within yourself, you've ramped up your personal power. It's so much, it's freedom from the inside. We talk a lot about freedom, but truth freedom is when you can be yourself. And obviously we have a range of us, but when you are comfortable and confident being completely yourself in every single scenario, for me, that's a huge level of success.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, people around me, I think anyone that knows me that's in my close vicinity, they've saw that changed. You know, my partner, he still has no clue the type of inner work that I do, but he's just like the shifts that he can see. Do you know what he said to me? And this does make me emotional. He's like, he calls me Chan. He's like, she's got her spark back. You've got your mojo back, which is, I feel that fire had just dwindled. So yeah, I've got my mojo back. I've got that inner trust, that certainty, that vision, and I just know from here onwards, like, this is where I am so passionate about passing on this work to others, because I know the shifts that can have in themselves, in their personal lives, but also in their professional lives. Like, it is deeply transformational.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will say is, you can listen to all the books, the podcasts, you know. I was going through this cycle of investing in coaching programs. I don't even want to say on here how much I have invested these last few years. It was coming from a place of panic, and it was things that were very surface level in terms of the teachings. I had to go deeper and do that inner work. For me to truly step forward into my future, I had to go inwards and work on these other parts of myself. So I'm just excited again, and like you said, it is that deep alignment.
Mm-hmm. And that's a really powerful coaching point, folks. Always looking at the seed of intention when we're making a decision. Okay, I also have made many decisions from that place of fear, scarcity, and panic, and each time it always costs a lot of money. It always costs me a lot, whether it's in time or money. Okay, so it's really tuning into that seed of intention, which comes from alignment.
Yeah.
Rachel, what would you say to anyone who is feeling into doing deeper inner work? Like, where would you invite them to start? What guidance would you give them?
Yeah. I would say the work has to come through you. So we talk about like deep self-trust and that wisdom transfer. Like, it needs to come from within first of all. Like I said, you can do all the external work, take the action, but it has to come from within. And yeah, I would say really starting to tune into yourself and getting to know yourself and what is going to work with you. And I think what is going to work for you, because if you're trying to model what someone else, like an expert, has said is their version of how to do life and business, in my experience, you're always going to continue to hit those upper limits. And for me, business is energy, right? So if you sell a service, a product, everything is energy. Like you talk about magnetism, the results that I am creating is because of the energetic shift that I have been able to embody. And I know the opportunities that are now coming my way. Like there's so many things that now at the moment I can't even share. Like it is from this magnetism and this place of certainty. So I would say, look, like I think that inner work for some people, they don't quite get it. It can feel a bit airy fairy. Like this is the work that has transformed my life and business.
Yes. And the more of us that we become, the more true to ourselves we are, the more we become that match for people who are in alignment with that. So when we're masking or people pleasing or doing things to please other people, that dulls down our magnetism. So every single one of us has got huge untapped potential for magnetism, and we think we need to look a certain way or be a certain way, or maybe there's just some women born with it, but we've all got it, and it is just through that journey of becoming more of ourselves, and that is the gateway to it. So absolutely love all of that.
Yeah. So we could be on here for hours.
Yeah.
But what we are going to do, you want to stay on, is we're going to share now just a way that if you are someone that is really, if you feel a deep sense of this is the work that you want to do, you feel this call to do more deeper, meaningful work, the things that we've shared, it's resonated with you. What we're going to do just now is really invite you into a space where you can experience this work. Through both myself and Frankie. I believe what we bring is a real unique offering with both of our combined experience in business, but also our combined gifts in terms of Frankie as an energetics and spirituality coach, and you can share a bit more in terms of like what that looks like, Frankie, but also in terms of my experience not only as a business mentor and coach in the online space for the last 11 years, but also as an intuitive psychology coach, to the work that I have learned through my journey training to become an intuitive psychology coach, where we work with someone, the whole person, your past, your present, and your future. So Frankie and I are super, super excited. This is such a unique opportunity to be in our container and do this deeper work with us one-to-one. So we are so excited that we're going to be launching a program for women who know they were made for more. It's going to be a 6-week container that's delivered online, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you get to experience that. It is going to be a container where you are going to experience that rapid transformation and levels of growth in yourself, in your business, and in your relationships. And we are officially launching this to anyone who's watching this live, and also to our personal inner circle today. And this is going to take place from the 1st of November. So Frankie, do you want to share a bit about, who is this for? What are they going to get from this container? And who is this Made for More program? Who are the women that are called to do this work?
So this is for the woman who has that intuitive knowing that she's made for more. She wants to create change in her life, but she's feeling a bit disconnected from her voice. She's feeling a bit confused. She's maybe feeling a bit overwhelmed on where to go next. She's not got clarity on what it looks like necessarily, or maybe she knows exactly what she wants, but she doesn't know how to get there. She's probably hitting upper limits in different areas of her life. So there'll be challenges coming up in work, whether she is a leader in a company or whether she is an entrepreneur and has her own business. She's probably feeling challenges at home, like feeling frustrated at the home, feeling frustrated in her relationships, getting triggered a lot within her relationships, whether it's in her partnership or marriage, and in the family home, or within female relationships as well. So this is for the woman that knows that she wants to move forward and create higher levels of success, but in a way that feels really good in her personal life, in a way where she has more spaciousness and time freedom and joy and fulfillment and happiness within our relationships and our personal life. And the experience that you and I have created, Rachel, is a journey that will take them through that, that's going to support you to do the deep healing work, where we're actually going to go in and release those limiting beliefs of that either or, of the struggle, of the burnout, of the not feeling good enough, of the feeling that we need to do certain things for other people, even though it doesn't feel good for us, okay? The people pleasing, the guilt. We're going to take you through a process to clear all of that out and up level and amplify your personal power, so that you can start to feel this rock solid self-belief, this rock solid self-trust, this rock solid certainty, number one, within you as a woman, but help you to embody that, so it starts to create different results in your life, okay? We're going to support you to create a strategy, like to redesign your life, but incorporate your work, your work vision, your work goals in all areas of your life, so that you can like wrap up this year, wrap up 2024, like being on a high, being on an absolute high, really celebrating yourself for everything that you have stepped into this year, and stepping into the next year, 2025, with full confidence and direction. It's going to be such a powerful container. We cannot wait to bring all of this to you. For anyone coming in here, we know it's going to be incredible change and transformation. The experience will be a leap. We've talked about leaps on this call, and that's exactly what we're co-creating for you.
Yeah.
And we're so excited to offer you this. We are running an early bird. Yeah. Okay, we're running an early bird for anyone who wants to step in August. Okay, so this feels like something that you're curious, interested, or you're just like, it's a heart yes, I'm absolutely in. Then we would invite you to reach out to either myself or Rachel, and we'll share the full details.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be so transformational. And even if you are someone right now that you don't have your offering solidified, you're going to work through all of the process in order to really have the strategy and the certainty to know by the end of that 6 weeks what other offerings that you want to add into the existing, strands of your business. So yeah, I am super excited. This is just going to be the most powerful container. I know that, Frankie echoes this in terms of how we deeply care about the transformation and experience that our clients have. The last time we co-created something together was our Made for More retreat, which sold out in a matter of like a week.
Yeah.
So we know that this is going to be the same process. We know that there are women that will watch this. You'll know that if something right now is stirring inside of you, like reach out to us and we will share all of the details. It's going to be a close-knit, small container, so the spaces are limited. And I would just say, if there's a part of you that's curious, then just reach out and we will share all of the details. But I am so excited. I'm so grateful to you, Frankie, for all of the abundance and just richness that you have brought to my life in the form of our friendship and the experience that I've had working with you. I am so grateful that not only have you held me through difficult seasons, but you've also supported me to know that I was made for more, and allowed me to tap into that confidence and wisdom that had just been buried down through various different life experiences and limiting beliefs and stories. So yeah, I'm so grateful, and I just know this is the work that has such rapid transformation, not only in your life, but the ripple effect of the people that this work that goes through. Like when I look at my mum, my partner, my children, like this is work that does change the world, because the ripple effect of the people around you who receive this.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to co-create with you on this and just help everyone else to achieve a level of transformation that we know is possible. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I don't think so. I just think just drop us a message. We will share all the details. Just know that you are made for more, and it doesn't matter what's happened in your past or what's playing out in your present. Like, you can choose to rewrite that story. So if you feel the desire, it means that you are ready, and we would love to support you if this feels good. So I've already had some WhatsApp messages coming through, so I will drop you all a message, reach out to myself or Frankie, and yeah, just sending huge love to every single one of you. Thank you so much.
Massive love and gratitude.